All right, here we go. Lecture at 2.6, the fear appeal. And this is going to be tied to, I believe, well, we'll look at the assignment in a minute. I want to say assignment 6, but don't quote me on that. You would know better than I do. So, let's talk about crafting the fear appeal. Solutions exist. Well, right off the bat, if we're going to use a fear appeal, and we know that fear appeals are used all the time, you got to use this or you're not going to be attractive enough, nobody's going to like you. You got to use this or, oh, one of my favorite, because we were talking about toothpaste earlier. This commercial just cracked me up. They said, do the tissue test. And what is a tissue test? You take a piece of white tissue, right, and you hold it up next to your teeth. Are your teeth as white as the tissue? If not, you suck, right? People are not going to like you. You're not going to be able to attract partners. Your life is essentially going to be over. But if you use this toothpaste, then in fact, your teeth will be as white as this tissue, and life will be wonderful. So that's all you got to do. And notice, it's a perfect fear appeal. But let me say this about whiteness and tissue paper. I worked in a paper mill for 7 years. You don't want to know what it takes to make white paper. It takes rail cars full of chlorine. It's dangerous as hell. So don't frickin' try it at home, right? Also, don't drink bleach, regardless what anyone tells you, because that's chlorine as well. So crafting the fear appeal, solution exists. A well-designed fear appeal, what do we know? It offers a solution. Use this product, right? Without a solution, apathy is the likely result. That is, you're not going to care. So it generates confidence in the target that the solution properly employed will generate the desired outcome. That's key to the fear appeal. So come in with your fear appeal with a moderate level of fear. Problem is, right, if it's too frightening, people might shut down, that's just too horrible, right, and they don't even want to think about it. It just scares the heck out of them, and they just dissociate from the message. If it doesn't have enough fear, then it doesn't supply the motivational quality. So there's that middle line, that middle road of just enough fear to craft a decent fear appeal. Right? And successful fear appeals have to be applicable to the person and to the situation. So within Lewinian terms, it's got to matter to the person based on their individual, nature, but it also has to be appropriate to the situation. So crafting the fear appeal, the level of fear, moderate level, right? Make sure that you hit that sweet spot there. I can do it. When you craft a fear appeal, then the target needs to feel that they can apply or afford the solution. And that's two different things, right? Because can I do this, right? If I'm afraid, you're making me afraid of my attractiveness, but then you're trying to sell me a gym membership where you've told me I got to come to the gym like 5 days a week for 2 hours a day, and I'm like, I don't have the time for that, right? Then I probably can't apply the solution. And you see, that's why so many diet advertisements and or fitness advertisements have very simple products that they swear you can do this for 20 minutes 3 times a week and you'll look gorgeous in no time at all, right? So you want people to feel that they can apply it or that they can afford it. And notice that some appeals then also talk about time payments, that it's a relatively expensive process, but you can do it over time. Ultimately, when someone has gone through the fear appeal, they've been attracted by this moderate level of fear that's been aroused, but they believe they can do it, and they can also afford to do it. So let's flip it around then. Resisting fear appeals. Know the weak presentation of any of the components of the fear appeal can allow the target to an out from ultimately engaging in the solution or the behavior. And we can use this to our advantage, that if we want to not be affected by fear appeals, first, recognize that someone is trying to run a fear appeal on you, right? And then critically think your way, right, through each of the appeal elements. That is, unpack the fear appeal and start to opt out in any one of those elements. Try to erode the message from your critical thinking process. Choose your course of action using data and risk assessment rather than being swept up into the generalities. Is there really a risk about this? What is the risk? What is the probability? What risk am I willing to entertain? What risk will I not be willing to entertain? Right? So assignment 6 is unpacking the fear appeals. Let's just go. We haven't done this yet. Let's go over to Carmen and let's take a look. All right, and this, of course, wants to give me a hard time. So what you can see then, as you'll see, we've discussed the fear appeals to motivate an audience to action, right? So for this assignment, I want you to find a fear appeal, or if you're feeling really spiffy, you can create one of your own, your choice. And it should demonstrate the following components. So I want to, whether you find one or whether you write one, use a moderate level of fear, right? Create the belief in the person that it can happen, belief that the remedy for that person is doable, and belief that the action once done will be effective. So you see, it's not a long assignment, and I don't intend these assignments to be long, but I do expect them to be really well written, really tight, really concise, and really on point for the assignment, right? So whether you find a fear appeal or write your own, clearly explain the elements of the appeal that address the 4 conditions listed above, thought to constitute the effective fear appeal. I really don't think this should exceed a page, right? So let's keep it reasonable like that. Let's not go crazy. And then what we need to do here is just go to the end screen, and we'll call it good. So thank you for that, and see you soon.